Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And I'm going to start it off in 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha, chapter 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter, that being the children of Israel, who are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. And that slaughter they're being led into is, as it's about to say, I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And that's not talking about ancient Egypt. That's talking about spiritual Egypt, as pursuant to Revelation 11, verse 8, the United States of America. But I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, speaking of the elect of the nation of Israel in America, the 1/3. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to bring great judgment on America, but also great salvation for the elect. Verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt, America, with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And we can clearly see, looking around at America, from the environment to the economy to the people, things are just declining more and more and getting worse out here. And it's just going to be a whole nother level that's going to eclipse the plagues of ancient Egypt when Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai really touches this modern day Egypt. And it's ultimately going to be wiped off the face of the earth by nuclear missiles that are going to hit it during World War III. Verse 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And here's the main point I wanted to get to in verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with the fearful constellation. And if you've been looking at the state of U.S. farmers over, damn near the last, 10 years, it's just been a rough go for them. You've had droughts and floodings and blights and things like that destroying their croplands, going into that blasting and that hail. And as we're about to get into with this article, due to Trump's, ICE raids, U.S. farmers are losing their workforce, which a lot of it's made up of, so-called Latinos of the Northern Kingdom. So they're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars of crops just rotting in the fields. Hey, there's those that till the ground shall mourn because their seeds shall fail, through blasting and hail and a fearful constellation. And hey, that's exactly what this is. You've got, those Northern Kingdom afraid to go to work because they fear, ICE is going to round them up. But this is an article on the rawstory.com. Let it left to rot. Farmer reeling over decaying crops as workforce flees ICE raids. This article's been acting funny all day. President Donald Trump's immigration raids are already having a devastating effect on agriculture, CNN reported on Wednesday, with one farmer in the Dalles, Oregon, seeing huge portions of his cherry crop decay because there's no one to pick them. Ian Chandler said he's built up a loyal seasonal workforce for his Wasco County operation called CE Farm Management, about 90 minutes from Portland. Slacky, I don't know why this article's sticking like this. About 90 minutes from Portland, with the same people coming year after year and staying in touch with birth announcements and Christmas cards in between, said the report. But this year, half of them did not arrive, and many of his neighbors were scrambling for pickers too. All told, Chandler said he will lose $250,000 to $300,000 of revenue left to rot on the trees. Not only have Trump's mass deportations and raids eliminated a large part of the workforce, but they have also prevented those who remain from being willing to work at all, Chandler said. It's lost revenue for the operation, which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to pick them had they been here, he said. The beginning of the season, it coincided, unfortunately, with a lot of really strong immigration enforcement down in Southern California, where our workforce comes from, and that had a chilling effect on people wanting to move. Since taking office, Trump has ushered in massive new operations to hunt down and remove any undocumented people he can find. And you know what's hilarious is that it's Trump's voters that are the ones that are feeling the most blowback from his policies, because Trump never gave a damn about so-called white or Edomite America. He doesn't even give a goddamn about America. He's just another puppet of the elites on board with their agenda to systematically break down the United States of America. But before we keep going, remember what that one farmer said. He's lost $250,000 to $300,000 worth of crops left to trees just rotting. But this is back in the Apocrypha with 2 Esdras chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. And what does a farmer do? He sows crops. So what? Croplands appearing, unplanted, things rotting, just in complete disarray. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and it remains to be seen what effects this is going to have on U.S. store shelves, because that's another thing that's coming down the pipeline. Food shortages out here, and it's going to get so bad to where, you've already got people stealing from the grocery stores due to, the cost of living crisis and inflation. But when there's nothing left to steal, people are going to start breaking into each other's houses and, getting it how they live. As it says in, I'm not going to get it, but 2 Esdras 15 and I believe verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which, your modern day sword is the gun, and spoil their goods due to the lack of bread, food shortages, the full storehouses suddenly being found empty, and great tribulation, all these other calamities coming down the pipeline during Jacob's trouble. Since taking office, Trump has ushered in massive new operations to hunt down and remove any undocumented people he can find. It has led to a string of legal and political controversies, from the summary transport of migrants to foreign mega prisons with no due process to Florida officials' establishment of a brutal migrant camp in the Everglades. The Trump administration has shrugged off the risk of the immigration crackdown disrupting agricultural supply chains, with Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins suggesting 34 million people on Medicaid can be press ganged to work on farms instead. So, Trump and the people of his administration just spitting in the faces of your average, everyday American. But, that's it with this article. Let's get back to these precepts. This is Isaiah chapter 19. I'm going to start at verse 4. And the Egyptians, the Americans, especially you Edomite Americans, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. And as we just read in that article, you've got farmers complaining that they're losing hundreds of thousands, probably even millions of dollars worth of crops due to Trump's, immigration raids. And when being asked about it, Trump and people in his administration are just feigning the hand. Hey, it's looking like Trump could very well be this cruel lord and this fierce king set over you Egyptians, you Americans. But verse 5, and it's talking about waters and fishermen and those that make fishing equipment losing money because the waters are drying up and losing a living. But symbolically, and prophetically, you can look at it as what? The rivers or the water, the working, the livelihood in America drying up, and these people that depend on it, the fishermen, those that work in flax and make nets, so to speak, hey, they're losing their livelihoods, losing their businesses, and, just being destitute out here. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up, the working ceasing. And what? No workers to till those and pick those croplands, so those crops just rotting. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and flags shall wither, the paper reeds by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. Salakia. And as I said, everything sown by the brooks shall wither, be driven away, be no more. Those crops, due to workers not being able to pick them because they're afraid of getting deported, withering and rotting in the fields by the rivers. The fishers, hey, those that till the ground, these farmers also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brooks shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the waters shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax and they that weave networks shall be confounded. And you got to look at it like this. It's a vicious circle. If the farmers, for one, you don't have the workers picking the crops, so the crops are rotting. So what, the farmers are losing money. So then the farmers don't need to buy, fertilizer, farming equipment or anything like that. So those that make such things to support U.S. farming, hey, they're feeling it as well. Verse 10, and they shall be broken in the purposes thereof, all that made sluices and ponds for fish. Verse 11, surely the princes of Zoan are fools, and the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish. And that comment that Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins made is a very brutish thing to say. Hey, what are we going to do? We don't have workers. Hey, get all these people on Medicaid to be press gang to work on the farms. Pretty much a middle finger. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings? And we're seeing, especially with Trump's administration and a lot of people that he's picked for his cabinet, it's just a shit show. Nobody, seems to know what they're doing, and the decisions they're making is just further breaking down America on all levels. Verse 12, where are they? Where are thy wise men? Let them tell thee now, and let them know that Yahweh of hosts hath, and let them know what Yahweh of hosts hath purposed upon Egypt, and I will smite it again with plagues as before. Verse 13, the princes of Zoan are become fools, the princes of Noth are deceived. These people in the government, and Trump's cabinet, shit, even Trump himself, they have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof. Verse 14, Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Seems like every decision this administration's making is what? Just further ruining things out here for everybody. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, those at the very top, all the way to those at the very bottom, such as those migrant farm workers. And now what? You've got AI, which they're talking about in the next couple of years, which, Abaratazah, we don't have that long, are going to be taking white collar jobs. And that's on top of, automation and outsourcing. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, foreclosure on the United States of America, and ultimately that fire sale by those nuclear missiles. But that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babol, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.